Well, who'd have thought it would have been as much of a drama-filled weekend as it was? And from beginning to end, across all levels of the motorsport industry, it seemed like there was something crazy happening everywhere we looked. But we're going to start off with the open wheels Formula One and the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And the drama actually started back in qualifying, where we had count them, six red flags during the qualifying session. And the last one was the most surprising. Championship leader Oscar Piastri straight into the tire barrier, starting dead last for the race on Sunday. He has been completely dominant all season long, and this is a major setback for the championship. And that continues right into the race day. We're on lap number 1. He sends it right back into the tire barriers, ending his day immediately. Not a great start for McLaren. It actually wasn't a good day for McLaren as a whole, because the main man, the GOAT, gets his 6th career Grand Slam, sat on the pole, got the fastest lap of the race, and led every single lap on the way to the checkered flag. Max Verstappen takes his 2nd straight win of the season. Second place, George Russell had a great pit call. And Carlos Sainz, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, got his very first podium with the Williams team, and it is that team's first podium appearance in the last 4 years. Congratulations to those guys. The McLaren teammate for Piastri, Lando Norris, as I said, he took 5th, and he did close that point lead down to 25 points. Verstappen, with pretty much a maximum point stay, he has closed the gap on the two, but he's still got a long ways to go if he wants to try to challenge for the championship. There's not too many races left to do it, but it is mathematically feasible. Well, from the chaos of the Formula One open wheels to the American open wheels, we got a new series to cover this week. We've got the Whelen Modified Tour at New Hampshire Speedway, and they start their race Saturday morning at 9 a.m. I don't know who decided that, why they decided that, but these guys were up at the crack of dawn firing their engines, and people on the West Coast were probably still in the dark when these guys got started. But we had an exciting 101 lap feature today with these guys. This is basically their Daytona 500. The Modifieds tours typically, actually not typically, they do sit on short tracks, mostly around the Northeast is where these guys predominantly are from. So this is a big hometown track for these guys. Probably the biggest track they run on. I'd have to look at that one up, but this is a mile-long racetrack, and you look at these cars, the way they're designed, that wedge shape cuts through the air like you would not believe. These things are downforce factories, not unlike their Formula counterparts. And it shows on the size of this racetrack, the draft plays a big part in the lead throughout the day. But we start off with Justin Bonsignor. Wow, I'm botching names today. And the number 51 on the pole, alongside Craig Lutz in the 46 car. And there is hard, fast racing up front all day, especially up on the restarts, because there's quite a few of them throughout the day. The draft constantly playing a major role in lead changes, and the dive bomb is a majorly common tactic, especially coming out in 3 and 4 throughout the day. There's a lot of action throughout this race, and if you ever get a chance to watch these guys, go subscribe over to Flow Racing. They've got all the local short track racing throughout the entire country, the late models with the Car Story series, obviously the Whelen Modifieds, and a lot of local short tracks have televised events on Flow Racing that are recorded and shown later throughout the week. That's a great place to watch some racing if you need to fill throughout the rest of your week. But all the action leads to a green-white checkered at the end of this race with Tyler Ripkema. I am sorry. Anyway, Tyler proves that you don't even need all 4 wheels to win a race, as he pulls a dive bomb on Bonsignor, collides with him off of turn 4, and loses his right front wheel against the wall, but still crosses the finish line for his very first ever modified win. What a way to win your first race, right? Don't even have all 4 wheels on the car? Who cares? Still gonna win. It's like all the video games we used to play as a kid. But Bonsignor does cross the line in 2nd, and Craig Lutz finishes in 3rd after an exciting race for the Modified Tour. That's Saturday morning, and then we move on to Saturday afternoon with the NASCAR Truck Series, also at New Hampshire Speedway. and it's going to be looking to be just as intense as the modified race was. This is their last race of the first round of the playoffs for these guys. After today, 2 of them will be eliminated. And the fastest truck of the season, to nobody's surprise, sits on pole once again for their first race back in New Hampshire in the last 8 years. But he doesn't hold on to it for long, as there's immediately a pileup in turn 2 on the start of the show. And that pretty much sets the tone for the rest of this race. The progressive banking of this racetrack is actually pretty significant. The second lane up in the turns is double the banking of the first lane. So the outside is the preferable lane on the restarts because there's a lot of speed up there on the starts. Corey Heim does take the lead back on the restart, and he pretty much shows it the rest of the way throughout the stage, but a lot of the action is further back in the field. There's a lot of physical contact, and it leads to some pretty brutal wrecks, including Justin Alexander here. He gets 3 wide with a couple other trucks, and he takes a wallop into the outside wall, and he was very much unhappy on the radio afterwards, and that will also not be the last time there's some radio chatter this weekend. Another late caution in the last couple laps does hand the stage win to Corey Heim under caution. And in stage 2, everything seems to calm down a little bit. It's green flag all the way up until the butt end of the stage. Andres Perez had actually been leading after the stage 1 caution and was seemed like a pretty sure to win the stage, but everybody came down pit road, got some new tires, and in the 2-lap shootout, Corey Heim did take the win back away from Perez to capitalize on those extra playoff points. It should be worth noting that Corey Heim was already locked into the next round of playoffs just on points, so he didn't really need the stage wins per se, but hey, those 2 playoff points are going to count in the next round. And he wants to cap off the day with a race win because that's what he does in stage number 3. He dominates the complete rest of this stage, not even challenged for the win, even through several more restarts. Takes his 9th win of the season, tying the most all time in 1 year with Greg Biffle over Chandler Smith and Lane Riggs. And while those other 2 drivers may be the class of the rest of the field, they've got nothing on Corey Heim going into their next race, which is going to be at the Charlotte Roval. I believe that is their first appearance at that racetrack, so that will be fun to watch. That is finally the end of the action on Saturday, and on Sunday, we've got the Cup Series at New Hampshire. Joey Logano finally breaking the Toyota stranglehold on the poles. Sits on first alongside his teammate Ryan Blaney, and just as the last day showed, he chooses that outside line and takes the lead on the start, but we got a quick challenger in Josh Berry in that 21 car. He takes second place away from Blaney on the off, and he seeks to be a threat all day long. Ryan Blaney didn't get so much as a great start and starts falling back into the field a little bit of ways, but stage 1 does end up going green, so the long run cars, Blaney's included, starts coming back to life, and he challenges his way back up to Logano for the lead late in the stage, and it is a multi-lap battle between the 2 of them before Blaney finally scoots ahead of Logano and takes the stage win away after a 1-lap shootout post-caution. Stage number 2 sees the Penske Brigade continue to leading the way, but the battles are heating up behind them, and it leads to a litany of cautions, including probably the biggest moment of the weekend, where Denny Hamlin completely dumps his teammate Ty Gibbs in turn 1, almost taking out their other teammate Christopher Bell in the process. There was some very heated words said over the radio between both of them. Hamlin believes that nobody's willing to talk to Ty Gibbs at JGR, and he's like, we're running for a championship here, can't they give us a break? And of course, Ty Gibbs, he's still going for his first career win. He's not supposed to give an inch to anybody. I think he was racing him quite fairly, but apparently Denny was fed up with the young gun and completely shipped him into the wall, and that ended Ty Gibbs' day. He came down into the garage for some repairs, but he didn't run too many more laps before his day was over with. And he had some choice words as well during his post-race interview. It's going to be quite busy at JGR this week. The very next restart sees the big one strike, and quite a few cars got tangled up in here, including SVG. Now, Gisbergen had actually qualified in the top 10, and he had been running up there all day, challenging for the top 5 at several points even. So his oval experience is starting to creep up a little bit. It's a shame that he got eliminated so early on, but he was showing a lot of improvement this weekend. But unfortunately, this pretty much damaged his car beyond race winning capabilities, and end of the day is quite a few more people as well. Joey Logano remains up front, and he is holding off the now up and coming Chevys to win stage number 2, and he takes that momentum into stage 3, but the tide of the race is already starting to change. We've got several new challengers up in the top 5, including most of Hendrick Motorsports. You got William Byron up there, Kyle Larson, and Chase Elliott. A lot of people trying to push this guy along. And apparently, saw this one on social media. Somebody brought their own siren and started blaring it in the campgrounds in the middle of the night and woke everybody up. It was quite funny to listen to. But late in this race, more green flag racing, and it's not the boring kind of green flag racing. There is a lot of passing happening, good, hard, clean racing, tire strategies coming into play, and late in the run, it comes down to Ryan Blaney and Josh Berry trying to manage their older tires. Blaney had taken 2 tires on the last pit stop. Berry stayed out to try to hold on to the lead. He could not hold off Ryan Blaney, but he didn't let him get away either. And it's these two battling each other towards the win of this race. But in the end, Ryan Blaney ends up persevering the most and wins over Josh Berry and William Byron, automatically locking himself into the next round of the playoffs. Does not have to worry about Kansas, does not have to worry about the Roval. And we finally have broken the Toyota JGR stranglehold. They were nowhere to be seen this weekend. I know we saw the incident with Hamlin and Gibbs earlier, but they had nothing for the leaders today. And that was kind of an important deal because Kansas, you're going to be expecting Hendrick horsepower to show up. And of course, at the Roval, that's a road course. It could be anybody stealing the show there. And SVG is going to be one of those guys to look forward to. But that is in 2 weeks. Next week, NASCAR is at the Kansas Speedway. Got a 1.5 mile intermediate track. Very fast speeds. Going to be a lot of action, a lot of fun. And it should be a pretty short weekend for coverage. But until next time, y'all have a great one. And I'll see you then. And get ready for a lot more content coming down the pipeline. Very soon, we will be doing some live streams with some of my buddies over at the DA. And got a couple more surprises in store for you. So you just have to stick around till then. Till next time, everybody.